So ask that question one more time just so I can hear it.
Like, how did you like? Because you know people like microaggressions. Like people like like you need some help or like they like try to do like those little things, but they sometimes bother you. Like, how did you work around those little microaggressions to make yourself stronger?
First of all, that's a dope question. All right, so I appreciate that question. So, to be honest with you, when I first ended up in the witch, I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed that people would look at me. Like I was so embarrassed that people would stare at me or look at me, and I would just react out of anger. But it was because I was definitely embarrassed of my situation. I thought I was less than. I thought I was, women, like the females, like that was my biggest thing. Like I thought, they wouldn't look at me in a certain way. When dudes got loud with me, I felt like, you disrespecting me because I'm in a chair. So it was hitting my pride. When I tell you I was in such a dark place, like never did I ever think about hurting myself. I promise you that. But I've always thought like this was gonna be my norm. And what happened is maybe like a year or two into me being in the wheelchair, I made a decision. And I decided that it's cool. The girls don't, because I would go to parties, right? And nobody would want to talk to me. Everybody was just like feeling sorry for me. And some people wouldn't even want to react because they was just awkward with it. They didn't know how to deal with a chair. So that made me feel more insecure of who I was, right? And I remember, I promise you, I remember going to the bathroom, like if we were in a party, in a house party, and I remember going to the bathroom and just drinking my tears, man, like really, like going through it, like really, and then trying off because, I didn't want to show nobody, like I had this ego. I had to show them that, oh, I'm in a chair, but don't get it twisted, right? But I was broken inside. And until I decided that I didn't care no more about what you said about me, or what you think about me, or if Shorty thought I was cute or not. What I was gonna do, I was gonna start working on myself. So that energy that I was wasting on feeling a certain way, feeling negative, feeling depressed, feeling stuck, feeling numb, I took it, I made a decision. And that energy, I turned it into creating my weakness into a strength. So what happened, and I wasn't expecting this. I just figured that if I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna work on myself because I needed to feel better about myself. How many of you guys go get a haircut, go get your hair done, go get your nails done just because you're broke, but that at least make you feel kind of good, right? Like we all been there, right? Like the cheapest way to actually feel good about yourself is go get your hair done. Or eat. Listen, I almost got to 300 pounds in my chair. I'm being for real because that's another drug, food, right? So what I realized is that, and what I started noticing is that the more I worked on myself, the more attractive people were to me. What do I mean by that? So when I started not looking at myself as a paraplegic, I started looking at myself as a doer, people started like forgetting I'm in the chair. Once I started working out, I was like, yo, like, I'm gonna get this money because I know money moves everything, right? So, oh, you cute. You know what I'm saying? Decisions changes situations. Now I'm cute. Why? Because I'm working. Oh, you kind of cute. Brothers are coming around me. Yo, you look like you buffs. Now they're asking questions. See, I could have sat there and tried to follow the trend, but I chose to become the trend. I made wheelchair the cool thing. I made brothers feel like, damn, I need one of those. You see, I'm the first one in the planes. I'm the first one cutting the line. I'm the first one in front of the building with the handicap sign. Like, I made it cool. I turned myself into a brand. They call me G the Barber Wheels. I dominated a space of barbers and stylists. How they make money is by standing up behind a chair for hours. I sit down. I get this money.
I'm sorry, quick question.
Please.
I'm trying to figure out how to work.
Just say it. Got you. Nah, go ahead, fam.
Look,
We family here.
Alright, so
We family here, man. There's not.
listen, look.
We family.
Alright, so your clients.
Yep.
They sit down.
Yep.
You sit, so
How I do it?
yeah.
Okay, perfect example. But before I tell you that, can I tell you my first experience of being doing my first haircut in school? Can I share that with you?
Yeah.
Can I bring you into that scenario before I answer that? Because I've been cutting hair for over 17 years, 18 this year. When I tell you I dominate my space, I dominate my space. See, I became paraplegic in 94. I went to barbering school in 97. I graduated in 99. I promise you, I didn't know how to cut hair, bro. All I did was play with those things. So I changed those things for clippers. Decisions change situations, right? So going back to what I'm talking about, right? So my first day of class, my first day in school, scared. Why? Because I'm entering a room just like this, but I see no one that I identify with. See, when you enter in a room and you see somebody that's African-American, Hispanic, Caucasian, you kind of click, kind of like, okay, there's somebody, we there somehow, right? You don't know them. You're totally opposite people, but you feel because you look somewhat alike. See, I couldn't relate to that. There was nobody in that room that had a wheelchair. There was nobody in that room with one leg. There was nobody in that room with one arm. You know what I'm saying? So I was already feeling scared. So my first client walks in, and my instructor, now mind you, I've never touched nobody's head. I've gotten haircuts all my life, but my instructor, Mrs. Jill Quinto, that morning tells me you're gonna first haircut. I'm like, what? I was like, girl, like for real, I need a prep. You know, I need to pray. I need to do this. She's like, nah, we're gonna give you the cut now. Gentleman comes in and he gives me the look like you give me, but he looks at the ground, he looks at the chair, looks at my face, and then he smiles and starts laughing, and then looks at her. I promise you, I wanted to bash him aside the head because that's what my biggest problem. See, I come from the streets. I come when you say something to me, we seen each other. Like that's just what it is, right? That's just what it is. Like I'm not sweet like that. I'm not a killer. I'm not, but we gonna see each other. I got lefty and righty, and you better be quick enough to dodge them. But I didn't realize my lefty and righty don't work like that no more, right? So I'm sitting there, and I'm reflecting on like, yo, I want to grab a pair of clippers and bash my man aside the head because you just disrespected me. Decisions change the situation. So as I talked myself out of that situation, my instructor stepped in and was like, you know what? Either he's going to cut your hair or nobody will. He was like, all right. That was my first incident with somebody looking at me like I was less than in a chair. Because you're going to cut my hair? You can't even stand up. Like, he looked around like, who's playing? Where's the cameras? Like, for real? That embarrassed me. That checked me. That hit my soul. How many of you guys been embarrassed in a moment that just you feel it right here in your core? Like right there. Right? You get nauseous. And then your hairs in the back of your head stand up, and it's a second for you to just like, yo, woosah, chill. So I praise God that I had that moment. Homeboy sat down, and my teacher, just to answer your question, how I cut, I transferred from this chair to a cutting chair. From the cutting chair, I sit behind the barber chair, and the barber chair reclines if I need to. If you're tall enough, then I recline the chair slightly, so I'm here. I've dominated my space over 17 years cutting hair. And I gave you all my credentials. But my challenge was, that wasn't even my challenge prior to even me cutting his hair. My challenge was just actually touching another man's face. See, when I got raised, you don't touch another man's face. Another man don't touch your face. You don't get in each other's bubble, because if we get in each other's bubble, that's a problem. I was so scared to touch another man's face. That was the most awkwardest thing. I didn't care about rocking his hair, and I promise you I rocked his hair. Like, that haircut was the worst haircut that I'm sure he got. And he probably deserved it for being a clown. I promise you. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do it intentionally, but I did rock his hair. But before I even cut his hair, that I was nervous to even get into that space with him. That I was scared of that. But you know what my biggest phobia, as I'm talking to you, what was my biggest phobia at that moment? It's not trying. You see, like I knew I was gonna rock him. I didn't want to get into a space because I was uncomfortable. How many of you guys ever don't want to do something that you're uncomfortable? But I promise you, because you keep yourself in a situation that you don't want to get uncomfortable, it's gonna keep you from a blessing. or it's gonna keep you from blessing somebody else. And I promise you, if I would have never took that chance and went and make that decision to cut his hair, I wouldn't be here in front of you after 23 years doing what I'm doing.
Like I was telling you, that whole thing I did, if you don't leave your comfort zone, you ain't gonna learn. You know what I'm saying?
I couldn't say no better than that. So I was scared. But my biggest fear, my phobia, was being that could have, should have individual. Out of anything in life, I promise you, I'm scared of a lot of things, but anything that terrifies me. That's why I'm so successful in life, right? Because I'm all right to take a loss. We said it in the beginning. That's what we do. We take losses. We're used to that. We're numb to it. So another one's not gonna kill me. It's just gonna make me stronger. So that mentality got me to here.